Alright guys, I'm going to do this video a bit different, well the introduction of it anyway. This is the end near the video now where I'm going to fit all this stuff back together, put all the prop shaft back on. But I'm putting it at the front of the video just to explain, you know, a few little bits. Prop shaft's all done now, it's all painted, all cleaned, as you can see later on in this video. Everything's been done, it's all nice and tidy, I'm quite happy with it. A few little things though. This is the old centre bearing mount. This one is the original Mercedes one. Very strong, very robust. The rubber inside it that holds the bearing, really tough. But this one is all cracked. So that's why I bought another one. I bought this one, AutoDoc. The rubber is not as good. It does what it's supposed to do. There's no issues with it. But I wouldn't say, I'd say that this is not as good as, that's not as well made as this one. Plus, they give you all these fittings because these are the new ones of that one and that one on this side. But the ones they give you, these, can you see the lip that's on the inside there? That is too thick for the rubbers. Why they've done that, I don't know. These do not fit with this bracket. This centre mount, these don't fit because either side, if I put it on that side and put it on that side, they hit the bearings and that's no fucking good. So anyway, I put the old ones back on. Also, the retaining clip, this is the one that you actually fit on with your screwdriver, your pliers, and you fit it and you expand it and it holds on. This is too thick, so I've had to fit the old one back on. So all these other fittings are a waste of fucking time. Rubber mount, you can get these now from Mercedes, they have them as well. Got the stainless steel clips that you retain it with, so that's all sorted. As for the bolts and the nuts, excuse me, when I phoned up a fortnight ago when I took this prop shaft off, they didn't have any. They didn't know when they was going to get any. They said they don't stock them anymore. So I looked on Facebook and everybody on there says no, you don't have them anymore, you can try here and try there. Well, I tried loads of places. I also got onto, what's it called, Dudo Parts over in the Netherlands. Well, I'll post a video on that turned into a fucking nightmare, that. Anyway, Mercedes do have them. He says yes, we've got some in stock. So in Blackburn near me, they had 6 of the bolts and they had 6 bolts at the Milton Keynes ones, but all the nuts was in Germany, so I had to wait a couple of days for everything to come. Anyway, they have them all because, believe it or not, they cost a fortune. For those 13 bolts, I got an extra one, spare one, and then it was 230 quid. Yeah, fucking rip off. Well, what can you do? You can't get them anywhere. Nobody makes them. Nobody does them. Where Mercedes do them is totally irrelevant, but that's what I had to pay. And you've got to get the right ones. You can't just put any nut and bolt on. It doesn't work like that. So, and I had loads of spring washers, so I have all them anyway. So basically, that's all done. But what a palaver, just trying to track these down. Luckily, the lad tracked them down for me, and they all came, and I picked them all up yesterday. So all this is now going to be fitted now. I'm not going to show you it fitting because it's just the reverse of taking it all off. But when it's all done, I'm going to fit my camera in 3 different places on the underside of my vehicle, and we're going to film the prop shaft. We're going to film the joints, just the prop shaft working, spinning, doing what it's done. I'm going to also do a video on the inside where the steering wheel is, take it for a long drive, and we'll see if there's any vibration, see if there's any issues. You know me, I don't do little shit videos with mobile phones. I make the effort. You know, when you watch this video, you'll see it's well over an hour, but just fast forward, go to the parts that you want. Every single thing you need to know about doing your prop shaft will be in this video. You'll also see that I put washers on these when I fitted them, the new universal joints. I put the original universal joints on, which you'll see later on, and I've also welded these washers on. But you might go and get it done at a garage where they're going to press the new ones in, and that's all fine. But they're taking off and fitting back on, putting your nuts on and all the rest of it, that's good for you. But all in all, that's the video. You take from it what you want. So now let's go and get it fitted. Sun's out, pissing it down today, so I couldn't get it done. But it's nice today, so we're going to get it done. Okay? Good. If you're going to do a job on your prop shaft and you're going to undo things, like take your prop shaft apart or anything like that, you need to do a few things before you do. Make sure you chop your front wheel. Very important, you chop your wheel. Chop your back ones. And when you jack it up, use big, solid, sturdy blocks of wood. Don't use scissor jacks or any of that shit. You know, these things are heavy, you don't want them falling on you. 6-ton jack to hold it up there. Jacked it up, just dropped it down, the axle, so it's sitting on the wood, all the weight's on the wood, but I've still put a little bit of tension back in the jack to make sure it's all held in place. Then I got inside, put my foot on the clutch, put the gearbox in neutral, and I took the handbrake off. This isn't budging now, it's solid. I made sure I had my blocks on my tarmac. I didn't want it the other way around because it is a little bit of a slant, so I wanted it this way around. So now I'm good to go. And if you look, because the handbrake's off now, when you're working on the prop shaft, if you see, you can see it turning, because as you're undoing them nuts in the front, the 6 nuts at the front at the gearbox end, and the 6 at the back where your back axle is, you need to be able to turn the wheels round to turn the prop shaft round. If you're just working on one nut, work on that nut, then rotate it a little bit, take that one off, take that one off, and then take the next ones off. Okay, as you can see, the rubber boot's gone. Took the ends of the gaiter off yesterday, and it's gone all over the underneath, so all that wants cleaning off. But I'm going to replace this section where it all joins together with the prop shaft. But note this, you see how I put marks on this? It's very important you put this back together. Right. These prop shaft, this is a 2-piece prop shaft. Go on YouTube and watch how they balance and you'll understand how this works. So it's got balancing weights on this one, okay? And there'll be some on this one as well. They're on the top, I can just see them there. So it's balanced, and it'll have been done on a kind of lathe in their workshop when this was done. So this is not just put on there, it's been balanced. Wherever it was done, it was balanced. So when I take this apart and put new universal joints in, I want that mark and that mark to be back in this position. So if you look there, you can see where I've actually ground through this section and the back section, and I've also put a grinding mark through there and this section. Reason being is that it's very important you put all this back together again. Yeah, you're going to put a new universal joint in there, that's the way it is, and I'm going to see if I can get the new nuts and bolts for the fitting. But these things, these 2 sections and these have to go back in exactly the same. So if I was to put this section, this mark, on the other side, the weights that have been put on this prop shaft, the rear section, will be out of alignment than what they was when they was done in the factory or wherever it was put together, where it was balanced. So now I can forget all about this prop shaft now, just take it apart, it's irrelevant how it is. I know that them marks and these 2 marks, because of this video, will go together exactly the same. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the front section. Okay guys, can you see that there? I've ground a little mark across this section here, so this all goes back together the same. I've also put a line that way that lines up with these, and I've also put a line through there and there. You can actually see it. Can you see it going through? You'll pick it up on the camera. And you put your new universal joint and everything. It's very, very important you put all this back together exactly how it is, so make sure you put marks on them
Don't just put little flimsy marks on, because when you're cleaning all this up, or whatever it is you're going to use, wire brushes, everything, if you lose them marks, you'll think, fucking hell, I should have put better marks on that, I forgot where they've gone. So don't. Make sure you put good marks in it, so you know which way it's going, alright? It's very important. Try not to forget, okay? Alright, as you can see, guys, I've got one off, and you can see I've actually hacksawed through the end of the nut. You see that? Now if you hacksaw, you've got to do the cut so that it goes past the end of the thread as well. So I'm going to show you on this one now, exactly the same thing. We're going to do that. I'd have showed you on this one, but the battery on my camera was flat, so I had to wait for it to charge. So now we're going to do this one, and I'll show you exactly what it was that I did. Okay? Yes. Anyway, make sure you use a decent blade, guys. Don't get your old ones out of the shed. You want to put it on a bit of an angle first, so you're in the thread, and then we want to cut the nut. It'll take you, I don't know, 2 minutes to cut through this. There you go. See the marks? You've not damaged it or anything like that. Now, just get your hammer and your chisel. Little chisel, and you want to knock it backwards. Okay, watch. Yeah, it's just knocked it loose. Now you should be able to get your spanner on and turn it off. Come on, there you go, look at that. Slowly, but you can see it turning. So that's the easy way to do it, guys. You know, you can't get a socket on. I've got all the airline tools you can fucking think of to work underneath your vehicle, but you're not going to get them on here. You might be able to get a nut splitter on it, but you can't get it on the back part, because there's like you can see it there, there's like a lip, and you can't get on the back of the nut. This is the only option you have. I think this is the fucking best way to do it. I've always done it like this on prop shafts, and I've done loads of prop shafts in the past. You know, you're setting fire to things underneath when you've got your MAP gas trying to undo stuff, and you've got oil all over your back axle and shit and all that, you know. If you're going to do that, make sure you've got a fire extinguisher or a hose pipe, you know. Just be safe. And after you've undone all 6 bolts on the rear of the prop shaft, just give it a tap and let it hang down. And now we're going to slide it out. Okay? You might have to lift it up with your legs a bit so you can slide it straight back, but it'll come straight out, because inside this here is teeth. There's teeth inside here that these slide into, but they also slide through into the back as well, into that other prop shaft. Watch. You might have to drop it down a bit, because you've got to let it slide under your back axle. See it? There we go. There you go. Okay, guys. For me to take the nuts off on the front, I'm going to have to remove the gearbox cross member. It's not a big deal, because I put new bushes on the other day, last year rather. So it's got a new nut on that. The ones here, they're 17mm, and the spanner that I've got in position there, that's a 19. Remember, you've got to support it. So I've just shoved blocks under there, and it's in there perfect. It's not even going to drop more than 1/8 of an inch that when I take this cross member out. So remember, you've got to do that, guys. But it'll be dead easy getting these other 6 nuts off, because I'm going to do it exactly the same as I've just done on the back. Okay? front bolts are undone now. The gearbox end, they're all off, but you can't lift it out until you undo these two 19mm bolts.
You can lift the bearing carrier off and the prop shaft in one piece.
Okay guys, prop shafts all off, both sections.
Bearing carrier has to come off this prop shaft because it's a separate piece, and it's held in by this retaining clip there. I don't know if you can see it, and I'm going to show you how to take it off in a second. So there's all the nuts, and this is the bracket that sits on the chassis. Then you put your bolts in there, it goes straight through onto it and tightens them all up. One of them was seized up, so it was easier that I had that the impact wrench, or the impact gun rather. So I got all that sorted. There you go, see the clips? Right. And what you need is a pair of these. And they're open like that, and what you do is you just put them in the holes. And then you press them apart, and then you can lift it off. See, that's how it goes off. Got this propped up with 2 blocks of wood. Now you want to put penetrating fluid. I use this Buffalo stuff. This is good stuff, this maintenance spray, but you can use what you want. Right, it to go in there and soak through, so you could fill this up as much as you want. It's not come up near the top. See how there's a puddle? You're just going to let that evaporate, whatever, soak through. And then we're going to get this off. Because it obviously taps off because there's a retaining clip, so we're just going to leave that now. You'll be able to see it coming off. Let's just move the camera so you can see. You see it all in real time as I'm doing it. There we go. Get the light on it. Okay, now look how far that's come off. Look at the difference, see it? It's travelled a lot. Yeah, how was that? I don't think I'd have got it off without this. Air tools. Handy things. Not the easiest to see, but it will come into focus. Just give it a second. Inside. Took me ages to clean that out. Where the grease nipple is on the side, it was completely packed in. And I mean packed in, rock hard. 30 years of grease or whatever that was. Took the grease nipple off, sprayed some
degreaser in there, left it soaking for a couple of days, put it in the garden, put it on a slant, got the hose pipe, and as the hot water was going into it, I got the buckle of fairy liquid and it dripped drops of hot water on it as it was going in. Little speckles here and there, but that's released now in there. That looks well tidy. Okay, I was going to buy some Dremels. As you can see, I've cleaned it up a little bit, and I thought, nah, that can't be arsed with that. It's just going to take too long mauling around. You've got to do 4 of them, and you've got 4 on this one, 4 on the other, and 8 on the other prop shaft. So just to cut it all down so it's quicker, I'm going to get the big angle grinder, and I cut through there, and I cut through there, and then we're going to turn it round, cut through there and cut through there. Be quicker, save all that mauling, easy enough to tap them out anyway. So let's get that done. Doing this out in your garden, guys, is a lot safer. Okay, you know, got a bag on it, big heavy bag, holding your prop shaft there. One cut through. Let's get that one done. Are we still good? There we go. Okay, just took the vise, my old vise off the workbench, fetched out here, put it on the grass. Put that in, that'll be sturdy enough to hold it while I cut it out. Yeah, just 2 little marks from where I cut that out. That's pretty good. Quite pleased with that. Okay. Grinding them out took 2 minutes. Grinding these ones took another 2 minutes. Now we're just going to knock these out. Yeah, falling out hard there. That's the where the roller bearings go. So just watch how easy it is now, because you're knocking them through instead. Watch. Now these haven't had the stake teeth ground down, so let's see how these come out. Yeah, how easy was that? Yeah, there's the whole lot. So, in total, I'd say it's not took me 10 minutes to grind these 4 points out and to tap them out on the floor on these blocks of wood. You'd maul around doing it with a Dremel, trying to arse around back and forward. If you've got a grinder, get out in the garden, cut the bleeding things off. It's a lot easier. And I've now got this exactly this again on either end of the long prop shaft, because it's got a universal joint at either end. So I'll get cracking like that, but this part's done. Okay, let me just show you this. Show you this side first. Now if you look in there, you can see it's all been ground down. You can see it in there. Now I don't use Dremels because Dremels are just doing where the stake parts are. Really want to clean all the rust out as well. So what I use
I use one of these. And they're the best things you can use for the simple reason is that when you put that in there, the slanted bit, because it's slanted, tapered like that, it isn't going to touch where the shoe fits, the caps from your universal joint. So when you're cutting that onto there, all you're doing is cleaning that off, and I'll show you now. So I've done the other side. Make sure you use some cutting compound, okay? Can you see how it's took them down? Can you see that? Let me get my light for you. It's gradually going down, so you just got to keep working at it till you get to a point where you're happy with it, that it's just enough and it's just right. Okay, these have all been cleaned and prepared, sanded down, wire brushed, degreased. All the openings are prepared, ready for the end caps, the universal joints on both sides. As is this one, all prepared exactly the same, all the openings are correct, it's all been cleaned and ready. So now I just crack on with the rest of them. So it comes up good, make the effort. That's solid, that. No thin metal there. But one thing guys, if yours looks shit, you know, you might just put a coat of paint over it, but unless you strip it down, you have no idea the condition of your prop shaft. You don't know where it's been. Could have been parked near the sea for 20 years of its life and it might be rotten through. So it's entirely up to you. I'm just showing you the way I'm doing it. You do what you do, but I'm just showing you things you should notice and look out for, okay? Okay, while I'm waiting to find out whether these companies are wrong with regard to these universal joints and the C-clips, I've decided to, as you've seen earlier, get all the paint and all the crap that was on these, get them all back down to bare metal. Got a new grease nipple as well to go in. Use this stuff to get some spray primer. Really good stuff, this zinc stuff. So anyway, this one's had 3 coats. As you can see, I put a tie strap and a glove on there because I don't want to do this section yet because I've still got to press the bearings in. The universal joints rather. Same on this one. Only done it up to a certain part, as well as this and this one. Okay guys, let me just explain this right. These are the universal joints by Mercedes 410D. I was going to fit the universal joints with the grease nipple on. You can get them off AutoDoc. I decided against that. I've gone for the sealed units that would originally been on Mercedes. Mercedes don't have them anymore. So I bought these from a place in Birmingham called IMS. I'll put the link on everything on there so you'll be able to go and see where they are, and I'll give you all the dimensions and everything. Anyway, when you actually do these, if you look inside there, you can see the black. Can you see that black stuff? Right, you need to clean all that out. Yeah, you can put it back on if you want. You can just go, yeah, fit that, no problem, whatever. But why would you not grease them up? Put some grease in. push it on. Make sure you don't knacker the bearing, make sure you just stay straight. Push it in, and as you push it in, and it goes so far, roll your bearings round, because you want the bearings to be cleaning at the back with this new grease. Push it all in, push it down, let it get all the way around, wipe it off, wipe it on a cloth, take it off again. Still got black in there. Get some more grease. You'll see in a minute while I'm doing this. Put it back on, push it in, wipe it round, spin it rather, press it down. Yeah, look at the black. You see the black shit coming out? And you'll see in a minute there's a few little stripes in there because it's all coming out at the back of them rollers, and you want to clean that out. So wipe it off again, take it off. I've already done one, which is in this bag. I've still got a new one in this box here, so I've got 3 to do. I'll put a bit more on there. Push it in. Roll it round. Get them rollers moving. And push it down. Yeah. Now you can see that. Can you see the black stripes? Look at that all the way around. And you're cleaning all that out as you put the new grease in. You know, after you've fit all your prop shaft and you're driving along, all this grease goes black anyway. So at least you're replacing it with the stuff that's been put in when it was manufactured. This. So take it off again. Look, you can still see black in the bottom. Make sure you've got lots of grease. I find it easy with a tub. You just put my hand in and put some on your finger and get it pushed in. Watch. Keep it straight. Get it rolling round. You want them rollers turning. Push. See, it's starting to dissipate now, that black stuff. I'm going to do it one more time. Look at the suction on that. Look for them. Got double seals, you see, on these ones. These are factory ones. These. So I'm not saying the ones with the grease nipples are on are not factory, because obviously they are. But these are made for a reason. That's why. I mean, these ones are not hollow. This is made from a solid billet. This of metal. The ones that have the grease nipples on, I'm not saying that they're inferior, but you know, these have been fitted for a reason. You know, it's 4.5 tons and it should be done. It should have the right ones. Yeah, can you see that little bit of black coming out there? I think that's good enough now. So what I do, just get this other little cloth, wipe that one off, get the felt tip, put a few marks on it. That one's done. Now we're going to do this one. And you've got all the black inside there, can you see it? But I'm not going to show you the rest of it because I've still got finished this one off, and I've got one here in the box as well. So yeah, it's messy. Do all 3 of them at the same time, put them back in the bag so that you're not picking up loads of shit, and all you've got to do is take them out as the marks, all ready, all done to be fitted in your prop shaft fittings. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you how I do it. Just make the effort, guys. Okay. Okay, we're going to film this with 2 cameras. So there's a new bearing, universal joint. Take 2 caps off. I'm going to film it with my head camera and this one on the tripod, so hopefully we'll get it all done. Right, when you pull these caps off, very important you check all your bearings are still in. You don't want any of them falling out, okay? Because when you pull them off, there's a bit of a suction there, so make sure they're all still there. Okay, right, they're good. Right, and the way you do it, put that one in there and lift that one up to here so it's really high. Get your cap in nice and straight. Don't be pushing it in skew with. You want them bearings. You want them bearings to be nice and straight in there. Because when you tap this in now, you have to hold it like this. You need this centre section pushed up inside the cap because you don't want the needle rollers coming off. I'll show you now, watch. Yep, they're in. So, well, you can't really use the vise. I'll show you now, watch. If you hit it, you've got to keep it central, because when it gets through to the other side, you want it in the middle. Show you now, watch. The bearings are in. Those roller bearings are in there. There's nothing wrong with it. You've not got no marks at the top. If you get a little mark at the top here, it means one of your roller bearings is starting to come through and you don't want that. If you look at there, that's in the centre. But to be on the safe side, to put the other cap on, we need to get this further in. You need it as far, you need this end out as far as you can without this going right the way through. It's handy if you've got somebody else with you. It's really awkward on your own. Very awkward. You've got grease all over here as well, so let's see if I can do it with the vise. If you look, you'll see it going through, watch. See it? Don't push it right the way through. It's very important you don't push it right the way through, because then you're fucked, okay? Now we're in the middle here. So make sure we got enough grease in there. Right, so what you want to do is pull this up a touch, but not too much, because you're going to let the bearing, you're going to make a suction, and if you get a suction too much, you're going to pull them bearings out the bottom, and you don't want that, because then you're knackered. So make sure this is centered in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. I can move it around so there's a bit of a gap either side. You want it spot on in the middle.
so you can feel the rubber going over. There's your rubber. Make sure it's, you don't want it cockeyed. Don't get it on a slant. Don't get it cockeyed, guys. There you go, I just straightened it up a touch. It's very important you don't get it cockeyed. This cap needs to go on perfectly straight. Okay, so now we're going to try and do it with a little socket that I keep putting down, and there it is. It's easy if you've got somebody with you there, guys, as well. Your hands are full of grease, it's sliding around. Fucking thing. Because if you start hammering it, if you hammer this one, you risk knocking the roller bearings out. If you look there, you'll see it going in, watch. Nice and easy, watch. See it going on. Make sure they go on. Make sure it's equal. Don't be putting it in skew with. That's a bit cockeyed, that, so. I don't want to hit it yet. I don't want to start tapping it. I need to get it on a bit more. There you go. Roller bearings are in, see it? Now we can push it in, see it? It's a delicate little thing, see the grease coming out? No issues with that, so I'm going to push that in to where I want it. Because we now have to balance this up. This, I don't mean balance it up. We need to get this in the centre, so this needs to be pushed in to push this part out a bit. That way you're getting this in the centre, okay? Because that one's too far in because you needed it out here, but now we're pushing this back in. And it's working. No good with all the grease. Let's just finish pushing this back through. In fact, we can probably hammer this down now. Where's the hammer? There we go. Yeah, same on that side, same on that side. Look how it's loosened it up. And that's that one done. Yeah, it's a lot of mauling, and it's handy if you've got somebody to give you a lift. You don't need somebody to give you a lift, but it's useful. So now we're going to do exactly the same process, but on these two. So now take the cap off very slowly.
don't let that big, see how the air's inside. Make sure everything's there. Look, even though I pulled it off nice and easy, the roller bearings come loose. Don't be losing them. Make sure you slide them all back in again. It's because of that suction, you see, when you're pulling them off. There you go, back in place now. Just put a little bit more grease in. Because the grease on the bearings will hold them in. Now, what's the difference again when I do this side? Watch the suction. See, look, it wants to pull it off. Take your time, take your time. Don't let it go flying. Let's have a see. Yeah, they're all fine then. Nothing's come off. Nothing, so that one's fine. Touch more grease in. Okay, so we're good now. Now don't just get hold of this and put it on. Make sure it goes in there exactly the same way as it should do. Okay, there's my notch and there's my other notch. So this goes in that way, because there's my two notches. Remember the marks I told you about? There's one and there's the other one. So get your cap, it's exactly the same process. Watch. See how it's sticking out? Put it on. Nice and easy. Don't be dislodging them. They're really good seals these. They've got double seals on them, so that is on there. That's quite far down on that cap as well. So I'm just going to put it on with the vise if I can and shove it on a bit. Don't want to hammer it. Do not be fucking hammering it. You do not want them bearings coming off. They're only delicate little things, so don't be rushing them. Don't be heavy-handed. Think about every single bit you do, alright? See it going in? Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Before you push it any further, check that you've still got that in the middle. You don't want it going sideways. That means you're pushing this cap out of sync. See, all the bearings are right, look. Roller bearings are good. Push it in as far as you can get it. Still good. Remember, we're going to push it through as far as we can, just like we did with the last one. That'll do. Remember, you don't push that all the way through. Now look how far you've got that virtually to the top. So now, I'm giving you a fighting chance to get this other cap on. Okay? Make sure you put it in nice and straight. Push it down. Make sure it's straight. Turn it over. And now we're going to push that in again, just like we did on the last one. Do not be heavy-handed. Don't use an hammer at this stage. Okay. Watch it go in. Can you see it? Still loose. That's what you want. Keep checking it, make sure it's all good. Look at that, it's all good. Make sure you're in the centre. If you're not in the centre, just go a little bit off centre, try and keep it straight. And push it in as far as you can, because you want to get this other side off. Back out. There's the grease all squashing out. I need to tap this one down again. Same there, same gap there. Well, maybe a bit too much there, so we'll go back a touch. Get them equal. A bit stiffer than what? No, it feels the same. You're just trying to get all those roller bearings worked in. Okay, I'm happy with that. What's that took me? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? I know that that was quicker than the one I've just done and the one I did yesterday, because you get a bit more familiar with what you're doing.
if you was doing this as a job, you'd breeze through these because you'd have all the equipment, you'd have it all set up. But because you only do this every 10, 15, 20 years, it must be 25 years since I've done it. It's done, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to degrease this. Yeah, degrease that, grease the whole shaft, both ends. And then I'm going to get my washers that I'm putting in here. And I'm going to do my wells on the top of this because that's the way that I'm doing it, because I'm not having this staked again. Fuck that. I can do just as good a job of that. Without the stake I can do a good job. And I don't do silly tacks. I do a proper weld across there. Only a small weld, but you'll see anyway on the other videos. Oh, you will have seen on the other videos anyway, so I don't know why I'm waffling on. So we're going to get that degreased, and that's done. All 3 universal joints fitted. But if you can, get somebody to give you a lift, okay? Cheers, guys. Okay, as you can see, I've used a washer which is perfectly flush with the top, and I've done welds on the top to hold it in place. Didn't do little tacks, I did a continuous weld on the top, which is only short. I did the same on that, and I've done the same on the other ones. So now this one's finished, all moves freely, no issues. I also fitted the proper Mercedes universal joint. I didn't change it for an aftermarket one with the grease nipple on. I thought, sod that, I'll just put the proper ones in. These are better made anyway, the original ones, so that's all been done. It all moves freely, there's no issues with anything. Now this is all going to be degreased because I made a mess of the primer that I already fitted on, or sprayed on rather. So now this is all going to be degreased, primed again, and then sprayed with a nice grey gloss paint. So as you can see, it's all primed and ready. Looking good, got in all the nooks and crannies as well, all the way down. So another 2 coats of this etching primer, and it's looking good, ready for the top coat. Okay, both prop shafts are finished now, all looking good. Got about 3-4 coats of etch primer, and then I put some, what it's called, it's like a smoked silver. I wasn't asked about the silver, but that's what they had in the cans when I went in the shop. I bought two spray aerosols. It's good stuff, fast drying, looks real nice. There's the shorter one, all done. Looking good. So tomorrow I want to fit the centre bearing on here. But all in all, I think they look good. Well pleased with it. A lot of effort went into these guys, as you've seen in the video. I know it's a long video, but you can always fast forward and jump to the parts that you want to watch. But yeah, I think they're good. I'm well pleased. Okay guys, you see the white Tipex? Right. I replaced the black felt tip marks that I put on when I took it off, because I need this this rear prop shaft to slide straight back into the front prop shaft through this centre bearing mount in exactly the same position I took it out. And if you do that, all your markings front and back should line up. You can turn, once you've connected your front prop shaft and tightened all your bolts up, you'll be able to rotate that front prop shaft so that you get this in the right position. And if you've got that in the right position, the rear of your prop shaft should go exactly where your marks are on the back axle. That's exactly how you should do it. So make sure you put some markings on. So wipe the grease off here when you're taking it off and put your marks on it. You've got to have a mark on this section and a mark on this section. Don't put it right on the end as you're taking it off, because you'll lose it. You want to put it right at the back end like I've done here. Okay, it's very important. So now this is all on now. I'm just going to fit these, which are the new clips to fit on. And now the clips have been fitted, you need to grease it up. I like this fitting. I think this is great. This don't have to out, straight on, locks on, don't come off. And then you got to pump it full of grease. You got to put enough grease in here to fill the chamber up, and then it'll squirt in onto this shaft that's pushing straight through this centre bearing on here. And as it turns, it kind of, this will pivot up and down, and it'll move the spleen inside, and it's lubricating it. So you got to put enough in. I'm not sure there's enough grease in this, but it comes out pretty quick, this one. Off so it don't spin off underneath. Okay guys, all the new nuts are on. Make sure you use your decent spring wash as well. Put all new ones on. Don't be a tight bastard. Just if you're gonna do your prop shaft, make sure you do them proper. Also, when you tighten the nuts up, use a really good 15mm spanner. Okay, don't use one of your old ones that's like baggy on the nuts. You want one that's really fits nice and snug, otherwise you're going to be rounding the nuts again, and then later on in whenever you're taking it off, you're going to be round it again. So make sure you use a good spanner on these, open-ended spanner. You can't torque wrench them, so it's just the way it is. So make sure you get them as good and tight as you possibly can. Really put some effort in, but use a good spanner, because you don't want to be rounding them. And if you can see there, I have not rounded anything. So make sure you do them really tight, and it's the same on the front. We'll just go and have a look at the middle, and we'll go and have a look at the front as well. Gaiters all fitted, new clips all done, in position. Looks nice, doesn't it? All fitted nice and tight. I tightened the nuts up really tight because it was easier to do without the centre support going across the gearbox, this thing. So tighten them up as best you can, because it's easier with this out of the way. But I'm well pleased with it. Same applies to the front. Make sure you use a good spanner, guys. Tighten them as best you can, and make sure you tighten all these back up again. Okay. Absolutely no vibration on the motorway, guys. I'm on the M6 heading south. Oh, no vibration, nothing.
I've got one finger on the steering. Rock solid, no issues whatsoever. Anyway guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.